Welcome to Beyond Wellness, the podcast dedicated to guiding your health and wellness journey with topics that touch on your everyday lives. Insights from top minds in the industry and science-backed strategy for a healthier you. I'm your host Sandra Megad, and today's discussion explores one of the most understated, astonishing and powerful healing methodologies, hiding right under our noses, and it's aromatherapy. Join us as we reveal how what is often considered to be a friendly and relaxing practice in our homes could actually be one of the most powerful healing methods available to us today. Joining us is Dr. Hulya Kayhan, esteemed pharmacist, founder of Huille, and a major public figure in Turkey, and her miraculous healing methodologies and her own scientific publications on aromatherapy. Today, Dr. Hulya's aromatherapy business is followed almost by 500,000 people on social media and is beloved by thousands of happy clients that swear by its incredible results. With such an inspiring guest and a wealth of knowledge from an acclaimed figure in health and wellness, today's episode promises to be very special for our beloved listeners. Dr. Hulya, it is a great pleasure to have you over in our podcast. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
So I heard it is your first time to Dubai, right?
Yes.
And how is your visit so far?
So far, so good. I really enjoy it. Thank you very much.
I'm glad. So, Dr. Hulya, if you could give us a little bit of introduction and background on why you got into aromatherapy.
Apparently, it started when I had my first child. I used to live in London, and I was having a very problematic pregnancy that I fainted. What happened then was I didn't have my husband, he couldn't come to London because there was a bombing in Turkey. So that British embassy got bombed. So I was all alone in London. I had my son, and my parents couldn't come because nobody could get visa. So imagine that you're all alone. So it was like affecting all my emotions, my body as well. As a pregnant woman, I fell and fainted in a mall, shopping mall. So they took me all to the hospital, and then they advised me that, okay, medicinally they can't give you so much medicine, but that you're so fragile. You need some help, psychological help, some support. Do you have anyone from your family? And I started crying because I had no one. And there was this lady, a lovely nurse, and she said like, I really feel for you. I'm an aromatherapist. Would you like me to start some aromatherapy sessions with you? We'll check with your doctor because we are in hospital here and we really care for you and for your baby. And I'd like you to have aromatherapy. So my doctor also advised. It was a very multidisciplinary act that I had. So they applied me aromatherapy. I had my baby and I was all okay. The baby was all okay. And I'm a pharmacist. I knew that the herbs, we used the herb. We studied the science that we use plants for the medicines. You know, we create medicines from plants. But I didn't know aromatherapy then. So I said, well, this is so helpful because it's helped me. And on the other hand, on the way along with my aromatherapy lessons, I did my studies, I did some lectures. So I got some aromatherapy formulations that helping bed sores. And when I learned that during my course, because my giving birth to my son led me to, I want to learn more about this, and I started studying aromatherapy because I'm a pharmacist. I did my pharmaceutical technology degrees in King's College, but I went this way. I wanted to study aromatherapy as well. While I was doing studies, I come across with some bed sores because my father was bedridden. He had a stroke. And he was having some wounds on his skin, and my mom was writing to me saying that he wasn't, what should she do? And I was like, I sent them some stuff, and I saw it helped for his bed sores. So from then on, I really maybe treated more than 10,000 people with the bed sores or decubitus wounds or anything with wounds and burns. So I knew that it's working because it helped my father, and previous to that I know it's working. It worked with me and with my child. So I said, okay, when I moved back to Turkey, I said, in Turkey, this should be done the same way, multidisciplinary. Say that there is doctor involved, there is a pharmacist involved, there is the nurse involved, all like a dietitian involved. And that's how I started my company and also the brand, and teaching the medicinal aromatherapy, which herbs to use, which not to use, which oils is good, which can harm. So in Turkey, the doctors were very distinct. They were like, no, from this, from plants and oils. What you're talking about treatment and the plant? No, they're saying that it is scientific. There is science behind it, and it is helping. There is clinical results in it, and it is helping because there is less stress. Now we know that chronic stress is everything, but aromatherapy is firstly, it's on the chronic stress, which we all suffer in our daily routines.
So you've mentioned something that really important. I believe that every successful journey is always begins with personal incident. And you've mentioned your when you were giving birth, and your dad as well, and how you are helping now many patients and many people who are suffering from your personal experience. This is really inspiring. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you about, you've mentioned that in pharmacy or in pharmacy college, all what you study is plants and how plants are therapeutic. Could you give us a brief about the top plants that are therapeutic in the world?
Yeah, sure. Especially ashwagandha.
Yes, we hear that a lot on social media.
Yeah, it is the cognition. Now it's all about your brain, your mind, your thoughts, and then because it leads to your body. It's the body, mind, and the spirit. So for spirit, ashwagandha is something spirit and soul connection. In aromatherapy, it is frankincense essential oil, and it is vetiver essential oil. At some sort stage, it's lavender essential oil, cedarwood essential oil. So they are also very therapeutical in that sense, where it comes to mind and soul connection, because nobody knows where they connect, in the heart, in the brain, but we have the soul. And so it's the spirits as well. So it's like ashwagandha, and it is all like spirulina. There are all these. There are herbs very helpful for your. It's like the some leaves, like and some oils. There are plenty of them. Say that Nigella sativa. Nigella is very therapeutic, and it's seeds, it's seed oil, very therapeutic, and also for pain you'll get like pain reliever. It's like borage. Borage is a plant, and the seed oil is very helpful in the treatment of the pain of arthritis, bone. If you're, suffering from bone, when your bones started getting melting. So it's these are all very therapeutic plants.
Yesterday I had the pleasure to sit in your lecture, and I learned a lot about aromatherapy and therapeutic oils, as well as probiotics in oils. This was the first time that I hear about this concept. We hear about probiotics as supplements, as drinks, but I've never heard about probiotics in oils. Can you tell us how does it work, and what got you to invent this invention?
Actually, I just looked in the nature. I mean, I looked in the soil, because in the soil we have lots of bacteria, and all these bacteria in the soil are reason that now we have all these mines today. You know, the coal, the everything, even the gems. Is, you know, the soil and the plants and it's the ecosystem. So the soil has all the bacteria, and when you really follow it, they are consuming the fatty acids. The fatty acids, when you check the plants, the fatty acids are as such, they give the smell to a plant, and also they give the color. They are the reasons of the colors of a plant. So if when you have a full diet with the purple color, all these forest fruits with the green, dark green color, all this, you know, green spinach and everything, and then red, like red color, red cabbage or whatever. So it's, you know, you think that your diet is colorful. Those colors in the plant are fatty acids. And also, you eat a plant or a vegetable or the fruit, it all has a fragrance. It's the smell of it, the scent of it, the smell of it. So there is nothing that we consume from the nature doesn't smell. So what creates that smell? The bacteria in the soil.
Okay.
And also, when you look at us as human beings, we are the sort of like reflection of that. In our gut, there are bacteria, and those bacteria using fatty acids, creating fatty acids. So their created fatty acids are called postbiotics, which are short-chain fatty acids. And those postbiotics that the gut microbiota creates are in our brains, and they are our neurosystem, like our say that neurotransmitters. And those neurotransmitters like serotonin, like GABA, like dopamine, endorphin, are all created in our gut, mainly in our gut, with the bacteria. So, and they affect our mood, you know, brain and gut is the same. Our gut is our second brain. It's due to the bacteria creating postbiotics. Same in the soil. The bacteria creating postbiotics in the soil, and these postbiotics are the smell of the plants and also the color of the plants. So if we have anything colorful, natural color, a natural smell, this is helping us in our brains, starting from relaxing us, because they know each other. See what I mean? It's the bio availability. So they know the smell knows our serotonin well before we knew it is there. So there is a connection there. So once we smell lavender, it is GABA agonistic, which is like relaxing the muscle, because GABA is a postbiotic, and the lavender smell is a postbiotic. So both of them are, when they come together, they're relaxing us. So our chronic stress leaves it to relaxation. So we need that relaxation because our parasympathetic system is activated. Once our parasympathetic system is activated, it's the system of relax, digest, heal. So for us to be able to really digest anything is what we eat, also what we hear, what we see. Sometimes we can't digest the emotions.
True.
Sometimes we can't digest the negative thoughts. So it is for us to digest all this. The nature, the smell, the lovely fragrance, apparently the postbiotic of that microbiota from soil helping us to digest all of this. That's why they call us, when you're so stressed, go into the soil, take your shoes off
and walk.
Step on the walk.
Yes.
You know, earth, you have to step on the earth, so earth yourself, and also smell the nature, just lie down, you know, be in that moment. So it is that smell, the nature, the microbiome of the soil helping us there, which have the reflection of them all in our system. So it's connecting again.
All of it is connected.
Yeah, we need to connect with the earth.
Yes.
We need to connect with the soil. We need to connect the microbiota of the soil.
Okay,
Which we have the same.
Yes, we have the
us.
same in our body.
Yes.
One thing that actually there are two thoughts that came to my mind. The first one is you were talking about chronic stress, and all of us, let's say not all of us, but the majority of us do suffer from chronic stress. We live in a world that's so stressful. You're running all the time. You need to finish a lot of things. So most of us are suffering from chronic stress. And when we suffer from chronic stress, the cortisol level gets really high and fluctuates when when we're supposed to sleep. The cortisol would be high and we cannot sleep, and it is a cycle that never ends. Now, you said that the aromatherapy could help with the chronic stress. Does it actually lower the cortisol level or brings it to the normal ranges? And does it help with lowering the cortisol levels for a long period of time, or it's just for the moment and that's it?
Actually, think about it that way. As I just mentioned, apparently that's why I mentioned that it's the earth. We are reflecting what's happening in the earth with the microbiota of the earth and the soil. Think about it. Why do we get chronic stress? Because we don't step on earth barefoot. We don't put our positive electrons there, which are creating, those positive ions are giving us stress. We need negative ions. So electrons, we need those. So if we were earthing enough, if we could step on the soil with our barefoot, maybe we wouldn't need extra aromatherapy, because it's there. That nature has it all.
Okay.
But because now we are apart from the nature, how often do you go onto grass or somewhere and walk barefoot? How do you lie on a grass naked? We can't. How often can we do that? So since that we are very apart from the nature, from the earth, from the soil, from the microbiota of the earth, we get all this stress because we are in a plastic,
Yes.
everything. And those, whatever here, these are creating positive ions. We are after negative ions. The soil has it, the clay has it, negative ions. The waterfalls has it. There is more negative ions where the waterfalls are. Imagine that you are sleeping next to a waterfall. Or you're sleeping by the seaside. The sea, the waves.
The sound of the waves.
Yeah, and when the waves hit the rocks, you'll get all these negative ions.
Okay.
And it's like making you open up. You're there and then. So these negative ions are apparently in the plant's oils, essential. Like clove oil has the most negative ions. Cypress oil has the most negative ions. Palmarosa oil, lemongrass oil, bergamot oil, lavender oil has a lot of negative ions, which, as if you are lying down on the grass, as if you are next to a waterfall.
Interesting.
See? As if you're in the forest after rain.
Oh.
Same, you get high negative ions there. So it's relaxing. If we could live there, we wouldn't be all stressed. What stresses us is the positive ions. So apparently what we do is when we put essential oils in a diffuser like that, with the water, hit the water molecules hitting each other, and this diffusing, that's why we need ultrasound diffusion, so that water molecules could hit each other. So this hitting water molecules, or when you spray something, you need the water molecules hits together. So once they hit each other, there is negative ion generates.
Okay.
So that's why I say put some essential oils on a water. If you have nothing but you have this, spray it around in your car where you have more pathogens that stresses you out.
Yes.
Then there are more positive ions. you have to have negative ions to nurture it. When you neutralize it, you don't get radical oxygen species in the system, in the environment. So if you are, the more you're using essential oils, the more you'll get rid of the positive ions. But your question was, is it just there and then, or is it continued
Yes.
helping? If you here you create some sprays and you open up the diffuser and you created negative ions, it's neutralized. And afterwards you went out, you walked in the grass and on the soil, okay, you don't need more. But again, if a few days later you are back to the when the all these bricks.
Yes, in the room without
Yeah.
any.
So no nature.
Yes.
So there is plenty of positive ions which are honestly degrading us. So we need negative ions, and essential oil therapy, aromatherapy is actually the negative ions. They create a lot of negative ions. Also, the olfaction, when you smell it, the limbic brain, because they go right into they go through the brain barrier system, right into your limbic brain, where your emotions are from, where there are serotonin, dopamine, endorphin, oxytocin there. So it levels them up. They know each other. These neurotransmitters are postbiotics of our microbiota, and the essential oil smell are the postbiotics of soil microbiota. They know each other. They relax each other. Therefore, when you smell a proper natural essential oil, it goes direct through the brain barrier system. Not one single antidepressant can cross the blood-brain barrier system that fast and with no side effect. Also, with the positive effects of the negative ions. So apparently it is a prolonged treatment, even if you don't. But your body has a wisdom. There is a body, the cell in our body has a wisdom, and it requires, if it is down in any of it, it requires, then you would feel like, okay, let me get another, let me spray my bed, let me spray my curtains, let me spray my car. So because you require it, you know, it feels you good, and it makes you energetic, it relaxes you, as if you crave for holidays. Why do we crave for holidays? Why do we go on holidays, stay by the seaside? You know, just at least we're relaxed. We're working for our holidays, for our lives, then go for 2 weeks, then work for
And
it again for another
12 months.
yeah. So what I'm trying to do is we could balance the negatives with the positives. If we balance this, it is a more livable environment and more healthier environment.
So, Dr. Hulya, yesterday the lecture I've attended was amazing. I really wish that our listeners would have listened to the whole lecture, but yesterday you've showed a lot of cases that you've helped to heal. And between all of these cases, what was the case that really touched your heart?
Oh yeah, there was that child, he was burned, and actually he was in a family household of, they were really poor and they were in need. The parents couldn't help him much, and the hospital didn't help him because, you know, many things goes with the money. So he was out and about, and the villagers took him to the pharmacist that he already had my lectures. And he called me, he said, well, can we do anything? Because they cannot afford the medication, but whatever had done already, it's not helping anyway, and they now stop. I said, okay, we'll do what we do. So I sent them oils, and also he went to treat them. They were living in one single small room in a village, all of them in the same room, the entire family. So it was like all contaminated. Even the walls of the house, the room was contaminated. So we sprayed it because of the bacteria. and we put oils on the burn. And the pharmacist friend of mine went there to really, bandage him, treat him. So he was like driving 40 minutes every day. And I was like giving the oils. This was all free of charge because out of heart we wanted to help. And at the end of the 3 months, it was like, you saw the picture yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It was like, this kid would have had all the scratch or any scars, burn scars. He would have had them, definitely he would. But no scar, nothing, as if nothing had happened. He, cured. And that was like, we saved his life in a way. And he thanked us. He came to the pharmacist friend of mine, said that he wants to be a pharmacist. And when they called me on the FaceTime, he called me Mother Hulya. I was like, my heart melted. That was the most satisfying thing I had in my life. Sometimes money cannot buy the satisfaction, but
yes.
his words was my greatest of all time. Is because he's a little child, and knowing that he has no scars whatsoever. So it was very great.
This is amazing. Usually, even when we're cooking at home and we get a certain burn, there's always a scar out of it. So to hear that someone who had severe burns and essential oils were able to heal him without any scar, this is
it's not
revolutionary.
only essential oils, though.
Okay.
It is the tamano oil with the essential oils healing. It is the carrier oil with essential oils. But also, just one hint, when you have a burn at home, if you have a lavender oil, but with the lavender oil, therapeutic lavender oil with the linolyl acetate high in it, so it has to be a therapeutic oil. If you have it, as a first aid, if you apply that oil, you will get no pain and no sort of like bulle or any brown spots afterwards. Nothing, as if it's not happened. So we've had many cases like this. Now in Turkey, it's all now, everybody knows, oh yeah, it works. She told us, we tried it and it really worked. It works, believe me.
Amazing. Also yesterday you showed us a lot of cases. One of them that is close to my heart as well is the burns that people would get from radiotherapy, and how it could heal it as well. To be honest, it's an amazing science, and seeing the results of it is great. But you also showed us that whoever has sinus issue, also essential oils could help them.
Yes.
How does this happen?
Yes, you know, maybe that it's the peppermint oil.
Okay.
We know it opens up our air passage. That's all we knew up until now. And also eucalyptus oil, you know that it opens your airways, so it's the flow can continue. And also maybe you know that they are anti-inflammatory. So when you smell them, eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil, neoli oil, cypress oil, when you smell, they're because they're anti-inflammatory. If there is inflammation in your nasal system, they might get rid of the inflammation, and then you breathe easily. But what I found out is that those oils, at a certain dilution, they are prebiotics in your nasal microbiota. So because in our nasal system we have also bacteria, harmful ones, beneficial ones. So there is a harmony there. They're both there. If that harmony is all in proper proposition, then we are okay. But then if there is some invaders, like some viruses come into the scene, and they affect the bacteria, because this virus is using the bacteria's DNA. If we are using pathogen bacteria's DNA, fine. But these viruses are very funny. They go and use the DNA of the beneficial bacteria. Those are the bacteria that help us to smell, help keeps the inflammation down. So once the virus attack it, so the balance is now it's imbalance, and then we we cannot smell because we have a viral infection which is affecting our nasal the good bacteria. So what we saw is that when we put Huille oil, this virus that is affecting us like influenza or like this pandemic, COVID-19, it's coming down. So it's letting the bacteria that is invading. And those good bacteria with the peppermint oil and the eucalyptus oil increase. So it is prebiotic to the healthy bacteria in the nose. Because with the nasal system, you get all these airborne bacteria which creates you all the infections of the breathing system. So for us to balance this, we need oils for the beneficial bacteria of the nasal system to increase, and that these oils does this.
Okay, very interesting. The other question that I wanted to ask you is you spoke about the nasal probiotic. The nasal microbiome, the gut microbiome, and the microbiome in the mouth. Are they related? Are all of them related to
all
each
of
other?
them are related. All of them are sending signals to each other. Each organ sends signals to each other. Each cell sends signals to each other. And this signaling is that via receptors and these olfactory receptors. Now that it's found, we used to think that there is only olfactory receptors, which smell receptors in the nose. Then it's found that okay, they are in the lung, which makes sense. But now it's found that there is olfactory receptors in the blood. And then it's found that there is olfactory receptors in the gut. And then they found there's olfactory receptors in the heart. So our heart does smell, our stomach, our gut smells. That's how and why I invented the probiotics in oils. With these oils, there is probiotic, prebiotic, and postbiotic in them. You can apply them on your nose, nostril. You can apply them on your mouth because there's liquid and oils, fatty acids, which are prebiotic for the oral microbiome. You can apply them on skin. You can drink them, so it's for stomach. There is a total of this microbiome, and 30% is in the gut. 30%, almost 30% is in the skin. 26% is in the oral, like mouth and nose. So an eye microbiome is like 2 or 3%. So this, if you add it up to 100%, so it's all related. It's one piece. You cannot distinguish your gut microbiome from your skin microbiome. Otherwise, can you cut off your arm? Can you
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. Can you bring out your heart and let it, function without, with all this machinery maybe, but without, it needs that bacteria. We have more bacteria cells than our human cells in our body, which is called microbiome. So apparently, it's the whole thing, and they're all connecting, networking with each other via the short-chain fatty acid receptors, which are olfactory receptors. So they always communicate. These bacteria always communicate. That's how our brain and stomach, skin, nose, mouth, all organs speak to each other through the short-chain fatty acids of the entire microbiota.
So since we're talking about microbiome and gut microbiota, this is something that everyone has been speaking about for the past a couple of months specifically, but it's been going on for some years now. If the gut microbiome is not okay, and there are a lot of let's say bacteria are attacking other bacteria in your gut, etc., does this affect your nasal microbiome, for example?
Yes, it does affect your nasal microbiome, and it's vice versa. Your nasal microbiome dysbiosis affects your gut microbiota. So your oral microbiome, if there is like some of these pathogen bacteria growing in your oral microbiome. There is a study, it's been sent out the other day. It's this very month, like a few days ago, they brought out a study and it was on the news. And it said that there is an oral bacteria, Furosobacterium, which is causing food decay. That bacteria is found that it's responsible for the colon cancer.
Oh.
So there is an entire relation with your oral microbiome. So it's in your gut microbiome. It's the whole thing is one thing. I mean, you can't just take out and say that it's only gut microbiome. No, it's total. And as they just found it, colon cancer is caused by a bacteria found in mouth. And this bacteria in mouth caused food decay. So do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Same. Nasal microbiota, when you lose your balance in your nasal microbiota, you get to Alzheimer, dementia, and also Parkinson, and also MS. It's a study showing that all these illnesses are related to chronic rhinosinusitis. That's why I'm asking people use this nose mixture, so that it's a probiotic for your nasal microbiota. It's affecting your brain, your nervous system. First, it's affecting the nervous system. This nasal microbiota. Oral microbiota affecting gut system. In total, they're affecting each other.
Okay. Now let's talk about the product itself. We've seen how it could help with bad sores, how it could help with sinus, how it could help with rashes and eczema, how it could help with after surgery and scars, and how we could prevent the scars from happening. Now, if a person is, let's say, healthy, or there isn't any known issue, known health issue, could they benefit from the probiotics as well?
Actually, that's what we should be doing. Okay. Yeah, because actually the probiotics is like to stop to preventing the illnesses. Then, of course, once we have the illness, we need to get our system back to normal. That's why we use them. But to keep and stay in the normal, we have to have the oils, the fatty acids, short chain, long chain, middle chain, all chain fatty acids as a whole to help our entire microbiome. That's why we use these oils, fatty acids with the probiotics. Say that for arthritis, for like borage oil, Hodambiotic is for arthritis, for vitamin D deficiency, for andropause, for menopause, for aging. This is the one. For those who are suffering, who can't have fertility, for infertility, we have the calendula oil and the probiotics, because calendula oil contains lutein. And in our brain, there is luteinizing hormone, which is like helping us to produce. It's when we have luteinizing hormone in our pituitary gland, we get our estrogen, ovaries, testes work.
Yes.
Because that's how an egg can form. You know what I mean? A sperm can form. This is the hormone we need. So lutein in this nature is in calendula oil. That's why we use it for our eyes. So it's in our eyes as well. So for eyes, for ovulation, for muscles, we use calendula oil, calambiotic. So for insulin resistance, for magnesium deficiency, we use avocado oil. And then we mix it with probiotics, we use avobiotic. It's avocado oil with probiotics. It's very good for our polyphenol sources. It's very good for the insulin resistance, polycystic ovar. This is the core reason.
Yes.
But if you don't have it, you can still have it for not to have any issues.
As a preventive
we
way,
need
yes.
all these fatty acids. And the fatty acid, oleic acid in avocado, gamma linoleic acid in borage, and conjugated linoleic acid in calendula, and also we have the coconut oil, lauric acid, which is in our mother's milk. So we need these fatty acids, all of them, not only omega fatty acid, omega 3. We need all of the fatty acids so that we function properly, and our microbiota is keeping its balance because of these fatty acids. And then our microbiota creates again fatty acids, which are short chain. So we're all about fatty acids because our cell membrane is fatty acid.
Wow. It's very interesting that it's all based on the biology. It's not something that's there and that's it. You're basing it on the cell and the cell membrane and how the cell could absorb those products so it could benefit the one who's consuming it. The other question that I wanted to ask you, and also this is related to me personally, if someone has cough and it's a seasonal cough, that's so bad. It closes the lungs, let's say, and the nasal tract. What should they do?
That's due to the pathogens of that mycotoxins that's affecting our nasal microbiome. So what we do is, where do we get those mycotoxins? Dust mites. These mycotoxins are dust mites, these little fungus, all these yeast. It's in our home. It's where we live. It's in our bed. It's in the air. So what we do is we spray. We spray with clove oil and palmerose oil where we sleep, and where we, our car, any textile that keeps these mycotoxins, because these mycotoxins, like even scabies, sarcoptes, they stay long in the textile. So we have to get rid of them so that we don't bunged up again. So first, what is the core reason? So go for that reason. If you have pistachio allergies, you don't keep eating pistachio and take antihistaminics. You stop pistachio. This is what it is. You stop communicating with these mycotoxins. So this is in our bed. We have to clean it with the nature itself, because we know that in the nature, when there is clove oil, they don't grow. Where there is palmarosa, they don't grow. So the ecosystem has its balance. When you follow the ecosystem, you get your balance. So that's why we make a spray of aromatic spray to the beds, to the linens, and in your where you have textile. So then you stop the pistachio there. You don't get it anyway. You don't touch the pistachio. So when it comes to your allergies, your immunoglobulin, it will start healing.
Yes.
What you do is help your system with the probiotics. With the probiotics of your nose, the nasal system is again the fragrance, the fragrance, they're postbiotics. Put it in it, they're prebiotics. Put in your nose, like this nose mix. And in your chest, we do borage oil. Okay. Borage oil is very helpful with the lung infections. Anything to do with lung, any the inflammation like interleukin 4 in the lungs, it drops down when there is gamma-linoleic acid, vitamin D, borage oil. So we make a mixture, borage oil with frankincense oil and cupress, we apply it. And last, we drink borage oil, which is hodambiotic. So you, like this, you got rid of the symptoms, but the core reason as well. Because if the reason is there, the root reason is there, whatever you do to symptoms, it will keep on coming. So you got your core, your root reason is your microbiota in your nose. And why this has got dysbiosis? Because of the environment, the bed. Go there, spray it. You won't have cough when you're in nature, will you? When you're on holiday, it won't come to you.
Yes.
Yeah. See, this is why, because you are in the nature with the negative ions, no mycotoxins. So you get rid of your mycotoxins. Clove oil is the highest negative ion in the entire nature, so that gets rid of mycotoxins.
And you can drink it. It doesn't affect your gut in any way?
With clove oil, you don't drink. You spray around. You spray it around you. You spray it in the bed everywhere. And borage oil, you drink.
Okay. Now, to be honest, I don't want to end this conversation. It could go on for hours, but the last thing that I would ask you, doctor, what would you advise our listeners that are listening to us today and they want to start their probiotics journey as well as the aromatherapy?
With the aromatherapy, it's taught that any fragrance or any smell or any essential oil could be therapeutical, which is not true. Please look for the eco certified oils. If you're looking for treatments or any therapeutic effects, otherwise it's ambience, it's cosmetics, but it's not treating. So please look for they are eco certified. And also, as for the probiotics in oils, you could use fatty acids. You can use them like now. I've done 4 of them: avocado oil, coconut oil, borage oil, calendula oil, which has the all fatty acids that we need. Gradually, one after another, you can use all of them for your entire microbiota, like body, all body, nose, skin, mouth, stomach, gut, all microbiota.
Should we use it for a certain amount of time, or it could go as long as we...
The bottles are 21. In one box, there is 21 of them. So because the cell has 21-day cycle to change things. So it needs 21 days. That's why one box is 21. So for you to change something, use one box. But for you to heal something, the cell needs 90 days. You see, to change the DNA again, transcription again, so it needs 90 days. If you are ill, if you have any sickness that you want to cure, then you need 90 days. You have to allow your system 90 days.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hulya, for coming on our podcast. It was truly a pleasure to have you over, and it was actually quite insightful. I don't want this to end, but we can go on for hours. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To our beloved listeners, wellness is inside out, and today we had the honor of gaining a little bit of insight into what it takes to keep the out part happy and healthy. Join us next time on another episode of Wisdom and Wellness. I'm your host, Sandra Meged, and as always, stay healthy and well.